Welcome to my channel Valuable Coins, All World. If you've ever wondered if those old coins you have lying around could be worth a fortune, you're in the right place. In today's video, we're diving into some of the rarest US coins, revealing their jaw-dropping values that will leave you amazed. Stick with us till the end. You won't want to miss what these hidden treasures could be worth. Let's get started. Top 1. Have you ever looked closely at the pennies in your pocket or change jar and wondered if one of them might actually be worth a fortune? Well, you're not alone. In today's video, we're diving deep into one of the most iconic and mysterious coins ever produced by the United States Mint, the 1967 Lincoln 1-cent penny. It's a tiny coin, often overlooked, but it holds a story that could make any coin collector or treasure hunter's heart race. By the end of this video, you'll understand why one of these seemingly ordinary coins was once valued at a jaw-dropping $135,000. The Lincoln penny has been a staple in American currency since 1909, created to honor the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. For decades, it has been in circulation, passed through millions of hands, used to buy candy, pay for newspapers, and saved in countless piggy banks across the nation. But not all Lincoln pennies are created equal. Some bear unique characteristics, striking errors, or rare production quirks that make them incredibly valuable to collectors. And the 1967 penny is no exception. 1967 was a year of transformation for the United States. The country was deep in the Vietnam War, the civil rights movement was reaching a fever pitch, and people everywhere were feeling the winds of change. Meanwhile, behind the scenes at the U.S. Mint, something fascinating was happening with our nation's coinage. Due to the Coinage Act of 1965 and a coin shortage during the mid-60s, the Mint suspended the use of mint marks on coins from 1965 to 1967. This meant that all coins produced during these years, including the Lincoln penny, didn't show whether they came from the Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco Mint. To the average person, this might seem like a small detail, but to a numismatist, it's a goldmine of potential intrigue. The 1967 Lincoln cent was struck in copper and weighs just 3.11 grams. On the front, you'll see the classic profile of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the words, "In God We Trust," arching above his head. Liberty sits to the left, and the date, 1967, rests on the right. The reverse shows the familiar Lincoln Memorial design, flanked by the words United States of America and 1 cent. It's a simple design, yet one rich with national symbolism and historical weight. Most people see this design every day and never give it a second thought. But when you realize that a single variant of this coin is worth more than a luxury car or even a house, you'll never look at your spare change the same way again. What makes certain 1967 Lincoln pennies stand out from the rest? The key lies in rare minting errors and unusual characteristics that are invisible to the untrained eye. Some coins may be double-struck, meaning the coin was struck twice during production, causing a slight but unmistakable doubling of the image or text. Others may have off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or incorrect metal compositions. Each of these errors can make a coin not just unique, but highly sought after by collectors who are willing to pay thousands, even tens of thousands, to own a piece of minting history. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Among the millions of 1967 Lincoln pennies out there, there exists one particular version of the coin that stunned experts and collectors alike. It wasn't made of the typical copper alloy, and it bore certain minute features that set it apart. So rare, in fact, that it caused a bidding war at a major coin auction. The coin was examined and authenticated by professional grading services, which certified its rarity and exceptional condition. This was no ordinary penny. It was a unicorn in the world of numismatics. When it finally went under the hammer, collectors from around the world vied for the chance to own it. After intense bidding, the final price rang out across the auction floor, leaving even the most seasoned experts speechless. That 1967 Lincoln 1-cent penny sold for a staggering $135,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, the kind you might casually toss into a tip jar or ignore on the sidewalk, reached a six-figure price tag because of its rarity and minting anomaly. This incredible story serves as a powerful reminder that treasure can sometimes be hiding in plain sight. It's not just about gold bars or ancient artifacts buried in the ground. Sometimes, it's a copper coin sitting quietly in your pocket, waiting for the right set of eyes to recognize its worth. So the next time you go through your change, take a moment to look closely. That tiny penny might just hold a secret story, and who knows? You could be holding a coin worth $135,000. If you found this video fascinating, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with fellow coin enthusiasts. And if you think you have a rare coin in your collection, drop a comment below and tell us about it. We'd love to hear your story. Until next time, keep hunting and happy collecting. Top 2. Have you ever stopped to wonder if the smallest coin in your pocket might secretly hold an incredible story or even a life-changing value? Most of us barely notice the humble penny anymore. It's often tossed aside, forgotten in couch cushions, or left at the bottom of a car cup holder. But today, you're going to discover why one particular penny from 1970, yes, just 1 cent, has stunned collectors, created a buzz in the numismatic world, and been sold for a fortune beyond what anyone could have imagined. The Lincoln penny, also known as the Lincoln cent, has been in circulation for well over a century. Since its introduction in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, it's remained the longest-running design in U.S. coin history. And while most of us see these coins every day, very few realize that some of them hide astonishing secrets. Among these is a very specific version of the 1970 Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin so rare and mysterious that it turned heads at major auctions and made headlines across collector circles. Let's rewind to the year 1970. The United States was going through a time of deep social and political change. The Vietnam War raged on, protests spread across college campuses, and the Cultural Revolution was shifting American life. Amid all that turmoil, the U.S. Mint continued to do its job, producing billions of coins to keep the economy moving. That year, countless Lincoln pennies were struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. To most people, they looked identical, the same coppery color, the same familiar face of Lincoln staring to the right, the same "In God We Trust" motto arched above his head, and the simple date, 1970. But here's where things get interesting. While most of these coins were routine and worth only face value, a few of them were struck with mysterious differences, variations so rare that experts believe only a handful exist today. These weren't obvious mistakes either. To the casual eye, they looked just like every other penny. But for trained collectors and graders, these small anomalies meant everything. One of the most talked about versions of the 1970 penny is known for its double die obverse. This means the coin was struck twice with the same design die, causing some of the letters and numbers, like Liberty or the date, 1970, to appear slightly doubled or shadowed. But this doubling is not always dramatic. It often requires close inspection under magnification to see. Still, for collectors, it's a sign of extreme rarity and value, and it doesn't stop there. Another incredible variant is the 1970 small date penny, which has subtle differences in the size and shape of the date compared to the more common large date version. Add to that the fact that some coins were struck on leftover planchets from previous years or from foreign coin blanks, and you begin to understand how a simple penny could become the holy grail for collectors. To determine a coin's true value, it must be authenticated and graded by professionals. These experts evaluate the coin's condition, luster, strike sharpness, and of course, its rarity. Most of the valuable 1970 pennies that have shocked the collector world are graded in exceptional condition, often mint state or proof, and display those rare characteristics that make them nearly one-of-a-kind. One particular 1970 Lincoln cent caught the attention of experts due to its perfect preservation and unusual features. After careful examination, it was confirmed as a rare double die obverse, struck in pristine condition and preserved flawlessly over decades. As word spread, interest among collectors skyrocketed. What followed was an intense bidding war that made numismatic history. With passionate collectors vying for ownership, the coin went under the hammer and sold for a record-breaking sum. And here is the moment you've been waiting for. That single Lincoln 1-cent penny from 1970, barely weighing more than a paperclip, sold for an astounding $115,000. Yes, 1 cent became $115,000, simply because of a minting rarity and the sharp eye of a collector who knew what they were holding. Next time you're handed change at the grocery store, take a moment before you toss those pennies aside. Because hidden among the ordinary coins could be a tiny piece of history, a copper gem waiting to reveal its secret and maybe, just maybe, transform your pocket change into a treasure. Keep your eyes open, check your coins carefully, and who knows? You could be the next person to find a penny worth more than most people's yearly salary. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of rare coins, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more, and leave a comment telling us what rare coin you'd love to own. And remember, sometimes the smallest things carry the biggest stories. Top 3. Every day, millions of people spend pennies without a second thought. They drop them into vending machines, toss them into tip jars, and leave them forgotten at the bottoms of pockets. But what if I told you that one of those ordinary-looking coins, specifically a Lincoln 1-cent penny from the year 1971, might be worth a small fortune? Yes, one tiny copper coin could be the key to unlocking a story of history, mystery, and shocking value. Today, we're going to take you deep into the fascinating world of rare coins and show you why a single penny from 1971 is causing such a stir in the world of collectors. The Lincoln penny has long been a symbol of American history and craftsmanship. First minted in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. Designed by Victor D. Brenner, the coin has remained a staple in American pockets for more than a century. Over the years, subtle changes were made, mints came and went, and rare variations emerged, often by accident. These variations, invisible to most people, can turn a coin from common to incredibly valuable. The year 1971 was an eventful one for America. The Vietnam War was still ongoing, the Apollo space program was in full swing, and social change swept across the nation. In the middle of all this, the U.S. Mint continued producing coins to meet the demands of a growing population. Among those coins was the Lincoln 1-cent penny, minted in massive numbers. Most of these were perfectly ordinary, made of a copper alloy and carrying the same familiar design, Abraham Lincoln's profile on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But hidden among those countless coins were a few remarkable anomalies. These weren't obvious mistakes. There were no coins with holes in them or major flaws you could spot from across the room. No, these were subtle, nearly invisible differences that only skilled collectors and sharp-eyed experts could detect. And that's what makes them so incredibly exciting. One of the most sought-after variations of the 1971 Lincoln penny is the double die obverse. This error occurs during the minting process when the die that stamps the coin strikes it more than once in slightly different positions. The result is a doubling effect on parts of the design, most often the date, the word liberty, and the motto "In God We Trust." To the average person, these coins might look completely normal. But with a magnifying glass, the doubling becomes clear, and so does its extraordinary value. Then there are coins struck on the wrong planchet. Sometimes, a blank intended for a different coin slips into the wrong press, and the resulting coin is an oddity, the wrong weight, wrong color, or wrong metal. These errors are rare, and in 1971, a small number of Lincoln pennies were struck on leftover planchets from other denominations or years. These oddities are almost never caught during production, making them highly prized among collectors. The value of a coin depends not only on its rarity but also on its condition. Coins that have remained in pristine, mint-state condition for decades are especially valuable. These coins may have been kept in special collections, rolled tightly in original mint packaging, or simply forgotten in a drawer for years. When one of these rare 1971 Lincoln pennies is discovered in top condition, and with a double die or planchet error, the numismatic world takes notice. One such coin came to light not long ago. It appeared at a major coin auction, accompanied by documentation proving its authenticity and error type. Collectors and dealers from around the world immediately recognized its rarity. The competition to own it was fierce, with bids coming in from all sides. It wasn't just about the metal, it was about history, rarity, and the thrill of owning something truly unique. As the bidding war escalated, onlookers held their breath. Coin experts had never seen this specific error in such flawless condition before. And when the final hammer fell, the room was stunned into silence. That single Lincoln 1-cent penny from 1971, once worth only a single cent, had sold for an unbelievable sum. The final price? $110,000. Just imagine that for a moment. A coin that might be sitting in your change jar, hiding in an old drawer, or lying forgotten in a coin collection could be worth more than a luxury car or even a down payment on a house. All because of a tiny minting error, a bit of good luck, and the sharp eye of someone who knew what they were looking for. So, the next time you receive change at the store or clean out a jar of old coins, don't rush to spend or discard those pennies. Take a moment. Look closely. You never know when you might discover a hidden gem that turns spare change into serious cash. The 1971 Lincoln penny is a perfect reminder that sometimes the smallest things can hold the biggest surprises. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins, be sure to hit the like button. Subscribe for more treasure hunting stories, and leave a comment below telling us about any unique coins you've come across. Because who knows, you just might be holding a penny worth $110,000.